Live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Men of Biotropics. You have myself, Brian Coney, my man Pat to the right, and my man Rick to the left. And we're going to get into some real good stuff this week. We wanted to really chart, expanding our topics to get better education on things, and give it with a male perspective. And, we always have Jackie to keep us in check.
You're welcome.
To make sure that, it's understandable. So for all you wives watching, this is some good information that you could bring back to your husband. And I guess we'll just get right to the topic. The topic today is
Eating disorder. No, I'm just kidding. But
having no brains and having something just go right through your head. Have you ever had a point where you're about to say something? It's like, what was that topic I was just about to say?
erectile dysfunction.
Right, there you go. Thank you. I could have used that like a minute ago when I was sitting there staring at the camera like,
This
what's
is
the
going
topic?
well already. That's great.
He was embarrassed.
I was embarrassed.
He was embarrassed.
Anyways, our topic today is erectile dysfunction. So we're going to talk about, the uncomfortable thing that most men don't like to talk about. And we're really going to put some light on it so that people can understand that even though you have it, there are ways to deal with it. And, we have some things available to you that could also help you deal with it also. So first, I'm going to defer to my boy Pat. Okay.
I gotta go first.
We're going to let you talk about, you had the extensive medical background. So with your extensive medical background, first off, let's just get because I know you have it somewhere. What is the actual definition of erectile dysfunction, or ED as they call
The actual definition? Well,
Yeah.
let me look it up to make sure.
Um,
I mean, what the actual definition of it means.
it? Close to the
does it just mean it doesn't work
Yes.
for
Yes.
So,
whether it's temporary or permanent?
well, there's multiple reasons why you have erectile dysfunction.
Exactly.
It's not just because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So,
I put you on the spot.
yeah.
Like
It's like I wasn't.
Yes.
I had my page pulled up here.
I wasn't ready for that. It was like I wasn't ready for that.
So there's multiple different reasons why a man can suffer from erectile dysfunction. Most of them can be explained medically. A lot of it has to do with could be hormone levels, could be medications that they're taking,
Could be the wife.
could be the wife,
Stress.
could be stress, it could be mental.
Could also be the
disease,
girlfriend
could be the girlfriend, substance abuse,
or the wife and the girlfriend.
wearing them out. Injuries, psychological conditions, cancer treatments. So there's all different reasons why men can suffer
PTSD.
from these things. PTSD. I think I'll just say it right now. I've suffered from it before. Earlier, about 3 or 4 years ago, I had issues. It's basically because my testosterone was so low. So that's one of the things that hormone therapy can do for you. There's other things that we can help with too, but I think just the most important thing is to let other men know that it's a natural thing that happens. There's multiple different reasons why it can happen. It's not like there's nothing wrong with you, So once I did my blood work and figured out, and that wasn't the only symptom I had. There's multiple symptoms, right?
Yeah.
You're tired, you're all that stuff, but
All those different things.
that's a big one.
Yeah. That's a big one.
But not only it doesn't only affect you, it affects your partner.
Affects the household.
Affects the household. Yeah.
It does. And I've been doing this for so long. I have guys come in to me and then, they're like, oh, my wife's mad. She thinks I'm not attracted to her. She just that. And so it does. It causes stress on her because then she thinks something else and vice versa.
It's just a domino effect of shit.
Definitely.
And in my job, I'm like a nail tech. I hear everything. I hear both sides. The girl comes in, complains. The guy comes in and complains. I hear everything,
But we won't meet in the middle. So let's give the man perspective. Why are most men just afraid to talk about it to their significant other.
Honestly, as a man, they don't know how. They don't feel manly. Let's face it. Your girl's all worked up. She wants to have sex, and you're down
Boy,
here.
won't stand
Like,
up,
yeah, you don't feel manly anymore. It's about you feel like you're not a man at that point in time, and you know. Not that good since you don't have one. I'm just let's be real. You just can't. Your manhood feels like you just went down the drain. When the girl wants you, you can't perform, and you don't know why. And I think that's the biggest thing is that guys don't understand
I
why.
ain't gonna lie.
They don't understand testosterone. They don't understand because for years testosterone was taboo. Only bodybuilders took steroids.
Yeah.
And then people, oh, steroids cause cancer. Steroids do this. Oh, your balls are going to shrivel up. It's all of those things. So it's the whole taboo of not knowing.
Yeah, it is. It's the main thing. It's the main purpose why men. If you think about it, if you don't know the answer to something, do you go asking a bunch of people about, right? No.
Well, about normal
Especially something
things,
that's embarrassing.
about not about a personal thing. I think guys will seek out help for different things, but when it comes to
But most guys
ED,
don't, right?
they know because
Especially if they got
Yeah.
it's because
But they think the answer, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think most men who aren't educated think the answer is, oh, I just need Viagra, or I need this, or I need that, or, and we have that too. We have access to that, and that's something that may be needed, but it's not.
it's not
Yeah.
the first thing to turn
Correct.
to.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the one of the things that we talk about every week. I think is how modern medicine now is like, okay, well, if that's not working, we got a drug for it. We got a drug for it. But there's also side effects to a lot of these drugs too. They haven't really talked about Viagra side effects because everybody's taking it. And with it, Viagra, Cialis, all of those different ones that are available. And they're not going to talk about
They
those.
actually have some other benefits. Actually, Cialis has a couple benefits that are good, cardiovascular health and stuff like that. So
not even for just the erection part of it, but working out.
yeah,
Because it opened up the capillaries in your body head to toe and work out. You talk about pre-workout.
yeah.
The pump is amazing. All your muscles. It
Doesn't pump that one.
Just don't scare me. They're scaring women though.
this dumbbell sure is heavy. No, seriously, like a lot of bodybuilders will take it for working out because it
Probably Cialis. I think that's the 24-hour one. Is probably the best. I wouldn't like take Viagra before you go.
No, because the Cialis, they take Cialis
around with a boner.
because it allows the blood flow and the pump that you get in all your muscles is ridiculous. So, I have no pun intended. But
So from the workout perspective, that's good.
yeah,
But we've talked about that too with the workout perspective. If your T is low,
I just had this conversation this morning with one of my clients. She went to the doctor. Testosterone was low. They put her on something, and she started having issues. She said, "Rick, I became very depressed." And this. I said, "Well, who'd you go to? Did you go to another doctor?" She's like, "Nope, I want nothing to do with it. I became very depressed. I'm a very colorful person. I got very dark very quick for 90 days, 3 months." And the doctor said, "Here, try this, try that." And she goes, "Nope, I didn't want to do it." I said, "So have you been checked?" And she goes, "It's been 5 years." I said, "And how do you feel?" She said, "I'm tired. I'm this and that." I said, "All right." I said, and then I told her, I said, "You have your blood work?" And she said, "Actually, I just had it done." I said, "Let's schedule an appointment with Pat. Let's go over and just see. Maybe a person." I said, "Were you on progesterone? Were you on?" She goes, "Nope, just the creams." And I said, "Okay, well, maybe that's the problem. Maybe you're seeing the wrong doctor. Maybe." And I said, "Once again, it's also insurance." I explained to her how that worked.
Yeah.
If you're supposed to be 300 to 380 and they take you to 300 and stop, and maybe that wasn't enough. There's underlying problems. And with men, it's the same way. There's other issues with the testosterone. You're tired.
Dude, testosterone is the #1 factor in total men's health.
Yeah.
Around the whole thing. It affects sleep. It affects everything.
I mean, all of those,
Yeah.
Energy,
ED and
metabolism, all of it. Muscle mass.
I mean,
because that's for testosterone, ED, all of these things. Let's be real. There's 3 men sitting here at the table. The #1 thing that makes you a man is the jump, and If that ain't working
Yeah.
and you got low energy, you're depressed. You're depressed because one, you don't feel good. You don't feel like a full man.
Yeah.
You're not bringing it to the bedroom, or you don't even have the urge to bring it to the bedroom.
That's the other thing.
You know?
Urge.
And then your girl will say something smart, and even she will say something that stabs you, right?
I'm sure this is going somewhere.
She will, and then that even makes you more depressed because you're like, wow, I found my wife attractive. I find this. I found my girlfriend, whatever it is, and hell, even your boyfriend, whatever. And they will say something smart, and because you're already in depression, like, why is this shit not working? What the hell? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And then she's like, wait, you don't like me? You don't want me? And now it even gets darker because they don't understand what testosterone can actually do. It's something simple. Go to your doctor, get checked.
Yeah.
If he tells you your levels up here and you're still having problems, it's stress, it's this, it's that.
It could be there's a bunch of different things. It could be mental, like you said, stress, mental issues, PTSD.
We're all above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for men, psychologically, that's
Yes. I mean, you could have as much, in my opinion. I mean, you could have enough testosterone pumping through your veins, and if you're, mentally worried or whatever, or it's just off or not in it or whatever, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
so if you're on testosterone, that's not working. That's when you gotta like maybe look at the other drugs, and maybe those drugs would be the ones that kind of perk you up and get you going. You know,
well, and not only that, just look at your overall
health.
Like
That's a big thing.
obesity. Certain foods that we eat can cause issues with
Alcohol.
all those things.
Yeah.
People don't understand it, and a simple change in your diet, just eating the right foods that don't have all this shit in it, the poisons and all that stuff, can really change a lot. And then when you incorporate what we can provide you with, and it's not just the medications what we provide, like we give you access to that. What we provide is guidance and education, coaching, right? And I think that the whole purpose of what we do is to provide another level of care. Not just anybody can go anywhere and get this stuff, right? It's not. What we provide is so much more because, number one, we care, and number two, we're knowledgeable, but we're going to educate you. Like when you're done with us, you're going to learn something that's going to carry with you for, the rest of your life. So,
and I think that definitely goes back to what he said with his client and how she, went one time and people just get frustrated. And I think that's what's big about what we do here with regards to just giving them education and getting them to understand. Like from risk perspective, like working out with a trainer or going to work out a little more, what's that going to do for a man's libido,
Right. So the way you look, the way you feel, should make you feel better about yourself. So if you feel good about yourself, you look better, people start complimenting you, you should feel better about yourself. I'm sitting here listening, and ED is male menopause. So women don't understand menopause. They don't. They just know they're cranky, they're irritable, they don't like you, don't touch me, don't look at me, don't. You revert back to kindergarten at menopause.
Don't even breathe.
What's that?
I was just a joke. Just something I can relate. My wife gets mad if I chew too long.
Right. So women don't understand because they're going through hormonal change. Guys are doing the same thing. Their body changed. When you're in your 30s, 40s, 20s, the wind blows, you're ready to go. It's like, boom, hey, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. You get into your late 40s, 50s, it's like, okay.
So
it sounds good.
So just for me being someone that was in that position, right? Multiple times where I just in the middle of, doing it and it just doesn't, boy won't stand up and salute good, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's embarrassing. But being in that position and where I am now, I can tell you right now, I wake up like a 14-year-old boy every day. It's like, but it's a big difference. It's because your hormones are right.
So
So
that was one of the starters for me, understanding why I needed some help was because, as a man, when you start and you first hit puberty, one of the first things you get that morning
You
wood.
gotta bend over
That
to pee,
morning
man.
wood. Yeah, you got that morning wood. You peeing all over the place and stuff, ever since you were a young teenager.
Yeah.
And it's been going on for years and years and years. And then you wake up one day and you realize that you haven't had it in a while. You haven't had that morning wood in a while. I think that's one of the first indicators to show. And then, like I said before in previous videos, I was having this
Ready to go.
tenderness in my,
Yeah.
in my chest, and it was like, like that's not normal.
Yeah.
So, it came out to where, my estrogen was too high,
Yeah.
which is kind of not good for a man to have
No.
low testosterone, high estrogen, because you're supposed to be high estrogen, low
Estrogen
or
is
high
different.
testosterone.
Yeah.
So for me, if you're a guy out there or your husband's a guy out there who's not getting more in the wood anymore, I think that's an indicator to show that something
Yeah. It's starting to.
it's slowly starting to,
But ladies, it's important to realize it's not you.
Yeah.
I can't speak for everybody, but 99.9% of the guys, it's not you. And sit down and talk to your husband. I mean, seriously, because I just went through this and with menopause, and I tried to be there, and she didn't understand that. And this is what I do for a living, and it causes problems. It really does. And because you're going to think it's you, and you're going to think there's always the worst case scenarios go through your mind. And I'm telling you, your husband's probably confused himself because he doesn't know like we do, and he doesn't know how to talk to you or say things, and he feels less of a man. And that is the worst thing for any man to have to go and think about why he's at work. Like, man, what happened last night? What the hell? You go from here
Yeah.
to here,
Stays with
and it sucks.
Yeah. Then and there's the flip point of that. Well, not the flip point. Kind of what you're saying is it's not them. It's not the wife, but
No.
it can affect their self-esteem also because
Exactly.
they start thinking, "What if it is me?" Like,
Mhm.
and then that causes this whole mountain of
Yep.
just anguish.
yeah, just like despair. I guess I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Because then women will be looking for other men to give them that, not well, let's say attention,
Well, either that,
but be like, hey, do I have this? Ladies night out means, let's be real, I was a bouncer. Ladies night out doesn't mean ladies night. Do I still got it?
Yeah.
That's what ladies night out
Yes.
means. Okay, so they come out and see if they still got it. Their man at home can't perform, so they went out.
Yeah.
And ladies, it's not the guy's fault. He doesn't understand. He's having issues. It's going to mess with him mentally. Go get checked. It's something simple. You get your blood work done,
Right.
and it's either going to tell you free flow testosterone levels, all this stuff. Yes, no, maybe. You might have too much estrogen. You might.
Right. How do you think? How do you? So again, I have an answer for this, but how do you think a woman should approach their husband if they wanted to talk to him?
What the fuck, bro? Just kidding.
I need you.
Oh wait, that was my experience. Never mind. I'm sorry. Just kidding. Just kidding. What happened? No.
I mean, at this point, just share this.
And then,
Share this
as a man, how do you explain to your wife? Right?
Well,
yeah.
But if you got to be secure in your if you're married, you should have
Yes.
that type of relationship where you feel secure. You can sit down and talk to her and say, "Look, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. It's not you. I'm willing to show you. Let's go to the doctor. Let's have this done. It's a simple blood test. A couple $100. You're done. You figure it out. At least look. Even if you don't get on testosterone, at least you know it, and it's a sound peace of mind for her and you. Because if I was a woman and my husband couldn't, I get where they're coming from. I train women all day long, so I hear them. Da, 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 da. And they're like, he da 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 da. And so I hear it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not you, I promise. I might be lying, but I don't know. Like,
It's like I promise, but I don't
I just
actually
get up
promise.
on a deserted island and no one around. Like, yeah. If I had to do you or eat you, you'd be on a spit. That's just the way it looks like, But you gotta it's not them. And in a marriage, you have to talk, because if not, it's going to cause so much stress, so much depression, so much anger and anxiety between them and it's just not.
Well, if it's not addressed, it just ends up being this.
It's gonna linger.
Yeah, it lingers and then it turns into resentment, and it turns into like just not even, you know. I mean, let's be honest, dude. What's the purpose of getting married?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, because if you look at
what's the purpose of spending the rest of your life with someone? Sex is part of it. It's a big part of it. So let's not deny that, right? You have to be attracted to your soulmate, right? And you have to have sex. That's just part of it. Sex is part of health, right?
It's healthy.
So
it is,
it's mentally healthy and it's physically healthy.
I like sex. Sex likes me. I'm good at it.
Who told you that?
I'm a believer, man. Believe in yourself, man. Yourself.
I think it also just goes back to those foundational things like back in the day, it was like, it seemed like the couples, when they got to a certain age, that's when they like separated, like
Oh yeah, they slept in separate. Yeah.
slept in separate rooms,
Yeah.
because it was either or. One of them was off and one of them wasn't performing, so they just get grown on. And it's like, why are we just? And they grow apart and they stay together for the kids, and it's like, but the foundational thing of a marriage, I feel, is that intimacy, and sexual intimacy is a part of it. So it's like, if you don't have that, it can really throw a wedge into any type of, not even just marriage, like people.
But it's not even just a physical part of it, though, right? It's mental.
It's mental, because it can break you down.
It can. You and her.
Yeah.
Because like we said in the beginning, it's that's your man, like the foundational part of a man.
Yeah.
Is testosterone, man, and like you don't have that, and it's like
One thing though we have to mention too is estrogen still does play a part.
Yes.
In being able to maintain an erection and stuff like that. So that's even if your
The
man
balance.
is on testosterone and he's not being monitored
Mm-hmm.
by a medical professional, make sure you call us because we'll do it for you. But estrogen is just as damaging, if not monitored, as testosterone. So
Same thing on both sides with women too. They need to have that balance too. To have they need a little bit of that testosterone.
yeah.
To balance out the estrogen, the
Progesterone.
progesterone. I would think so. And if they don't have the balance, it's like,
Yeah, and I'll give you an example. Like I'm learning right now about estrogen because Melanie, our nurse practitioner, has been educating me a lot more about our protocols and stuff, and we're going to be changing some of our protocols to be more based off what we do, which is targeted supplementation. Right? We want everything. We don't want it just to be a standard protocol for everybody.
yeah,
Right? We want to go off your blood work, and we want to monitor you, and we want to be up to date. Right? So, one of the when you think about TRT therapy, you think like you get testosterone, but you have to have an anastrozole, right?
yes.
Which is your
Other than
estrogen.
that,
But you don't have to have it because you need it right now. But as we do your blood work, you may get to the point where we can take you off of it
because
or lower your dose, right? Because it has to be balanced. You don't want it to be too not enough. Because I think she was telling me under a certain range, I think 15 or 30. I know she wants your estrogen in the 30s, right? So if it gets below that, then you start running cardio risks, right? So there's other risks that happen. All those hormones are needed in your body, right? So we don't want to deplenish them. They have to be managed. And that's the whole purpose of what we do. So,
We love our Melanie.
yeah.
She sent me a book
Shout
to
out
read.
to
She's making sure we are trained on estrogen. She was like, I have a book you have to read. I'm like, okay, come
No,
on.
but it is, and it's not estrogen. Who do you ever hear anybody talking about estrogen?
No, right?
No, it's just as important.
especially when it comes to a man.
Exactly. Some men probably don't even know they have estrogen.
No, they
No,
don't.
they don't. They don't.
There's some dudes that out there that probably don't have estrogen because it's just like,
Right. And,
Definitely not aware that they need it to be monitored.
Right.
And
But
testosterone.
think about it like this, right? You buy a brand new vehicle, right? What do you do with that vehicle every 3 to 6 months?
well, shit, oil change.
You get it serviced, right?
Get it serviced.
You get the oil changed, you get it serviced, so same thing. Like, you need someone to look after the way your engine is running, right? So
The problem with that is in my business, people wait. That car's 6 years old. Then I need this to run like it was new, and like you're really like, okay, like
How long's that
But
engine
this,
light been on for?
I will say this: the difference between a machine and the human body is that the human body has the capability of reversing all that stuff, right?
right.
Those machines break down, so the whole it doesn't matter if you haven't worked out in 10 fucking years. I didn't work out, God, dude. I didn't work out for probably 15 fucking years.
You're killing it now.
No,
Oh, yeah.
well, now I've been working out for like 4 now. But
Yeah.
when I got to that point where I was just disgusted, it was like I was an athlete at one point.
Yeah.
Like I was an athlete. I worked out 5-6 days a fucking week, and then life happens, shit happens, and then all of a sudden you get stuck in this rut of repetitive bullshit daily. Get up, go to my job, come home. Part of mine was drinking a 12-pack freaking every time I worked a shift. I did that for 5 or 6 years, and it just destroyed me. But it destroyed that also. It was a big It was a big reason why I was suffering from erectile dysfunction. It wasn't all the time, but enough to cause an issue. Drinking alcohol, low hormone levels, no energy, stuff like that. So
Cardiac health goes down,
Yeah.
and the importance about working out in cardiac health is we need that
Right.
blood flowing, because at the end of the day, it's a muscle and it needs blood. And if the blood's not flowing right,
yeah.
it's all part of it.
So if you are suffering from it, or your husband's suffering from it, just my personal experience was I was there. It was embarrassing, but there is stuff you can do about it.
You don't have to.
I guess the light at the end of the tunnel is, back then I didn't even have the urge really. Now my wife has to say no, get away from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Testosterone replacements are wonderful thing. I'm just saying.
dude, I worked out with you this morning. I'm putting myself out there right now. I worked out with you this morning. I'm driving home, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. I'm gonna call my wife and tell her to come home real quick. 'Cause I'm like, fuck.
But that's the cool part about the whole thing is like with your
And you know
story.
what,
It's like,
though? She felt good when he did.
yes,
I didn't call her, but
Oh,
I knew she wouldn't come.
Like that's a whole other
that's a
show.
whole other show. But the want was there, right? I mean, shit.
but it's shown that just because of all of that, you've had to reverse in the relationship.
You know what she'd do if I called her and told her to come home? Like for that, dude, she'd probably, what are you, fucking crazy?
here's what I'm gonna tell you about it.
It's like it's white.
Watch this.
It's fucking
Just pull up. You know, like Taco Tuesday, have hot sex Thursday, like in the car, in the parking lot. Just get it on like you do, like 2 high school kids somewhere. If you go to jail, don't call us. We can't help you with that. We're just helping you get there. Okay,
It's funny because that's how it was. We watching this is Christmas movie we watch, me and Jackie all the time. It's called Christmas with the Cranks. It's kind of you seen it? All right. And then he's going to explain to her that we're going to spend Christmas on the thing.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'll be right back. I got something for you. She's like, oh, she downs the bottle of wine. And then he goes out, he comes back and he's got the radio. And she's like unbuttoning her shirt. He's like, what are you doing? She's like, what? But then later they show it's not even Saturday or Wednesday or whatever their day is, But it's just funny that, maybe that's something that you guys got to do to plan that, because life is too hectic. But maybe you got to plan that time.
I think it's important anyway that you plan. I mean, for me, it's like, we're so busy, man. I mean, we're getting right back into the busy time. My kids playing baseball, I'm coaching. We got the business, I'm working at the hospital. You have to schedule time.
You do.
You have to put that time.
You do.
And that's part of it too. Like you said, it's not just physical, it's mental. You got to have a connection, with your wife.
I think a lot of times too that connection gets a little jacked up. And shout out to my counselor Pastor B on this one. One of the things that he always preached is that the relationship and the marriage with with you and your wife has to come first.
Yeah.
You know, you spat out these little kids, these little pain in the necks after the fact,
Yeah.
right? And they
Yes.
tend to just kind of just absorb themselves into that, and then it pushes relationships apart. And then 20 years later, when the kids are out the house,
Yes.
you're both sitting there staring at each other because
You don't even know each other.
you don't even know each other because you allowed yourselves to be
Yeah.
consumed with and lost because you were just raising these kids.
Right.
And at the end of the day, one of the biggest things that he taught us was, you know, you have to have a date night. You have to have that time where it's like, all right, y'all need to go do your own thing. We're going out here, or get a sitter, or do all those things to keep the relationship going, you know? And then the other aspect of it too that he talked about is don't be afraid to keep it hot in front of the kids. Listen, that's how they got here.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people in relationships, there's a lot of couples out there where they won't show a lot of affection. There's a little pet kiss, you know, or anything like that. Like, you know, I used to grab Jackie up in front of the kids. Yeah, they get a little freaked out about it. But at the end of the day, you know, if not
Probably
for
very freaked
that,
out just listening to you now, but it's fine.
and then I think it teaches them, it teaches the kids
Dad, we eat there.
when they find.
They're eating that counter again.
She watched TV.
Right? Like, I think it also teaches them too when they get older that when they're looking for that person, they want to be looked at in that same
Yeah,
way.
it's
Nothing wrong with that.
role models, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Nothing wrong with true love or love in general. How many families would love to see their parents love each other instead of fighting? How many parents would walk in and the dad say something smart to the mom, mean, or the mom say something, oh shit, dad, he's here again, or he's home, or something. Or would they rather walk in and be all loving? How many parents would have liked to see that? Kids like to see that growing up. So, you know, think of it that way.
it's important.
Because there's no manual for marriage or raising kids. They don't give you a book for that. There's no books. I mean, you can probably try to go get Marriage for Dummies, but it's not going to be able to help you. But, you know, those things like has to be foundational. And then on top of it, if you're allowing ED to happen because you're not taking care of yourself because of the relationship and stress and work and all of these things, and you're letting them compound and you're letting yourself get unhealthy, that's where the ED comes from. And that's when a lot of relationships just kind of fall apart.
Yeah.
You know?
It usually is.
And for all the guys out there listening, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It happens in life. For whatever reason, it happens. As we get older, stress, job, home, PTSD, it happens. Deal with it. Figure it out. Go to the doctor and let them help you deal with it. Ladies, the same thing. It's, you know, with menopause, or if your man is having erectile dysfunction, it's not you. Go to him, talk to him. If you can't talk to him, some guys you can't talk to. They're just and their wives can't talk to them about anything. You know, it's they don't want to hear it. You don't want to talk about it. You don't. And at that point in time, you know, both people become very depressed. And you know, like I said, my job, I hear everything. And girls was like, Rick, what do you think? How to? And I'm like, oh boy, you know, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
you know,
The trainer and the bartender.
I've had girls
Get advice.
yeah, you know, girls come to me and say, "We haven't had sex in 2 years." I'm like, "What? What? 2 years? We go 2 days. We got a problem."
2 years.
Like,
Damn.
Yeah, but you know,
That's stressful just thinking about not doing that for 2 years.
and you know, I can see if you're in your 60s and older, and you know,
You got a bad hip,
right? You know, whatever. But if you're in your 40s and you tell me you haven't had sex with your husband in 2 years and stuff, and you want to, but he can't, or whatever, there's a problem. Talk to him, find out why, and like he's probably embarrassed and this and that and whatever, and or they'll say, "Rick, we tried and it doesn't work." Well, go to a doctor. Try to find out what the underlying problem is.
yeah, think about it like this, like what you said before, like back in the day, there's just like a natural progression. They end up going to sleep in a different room.
Yeah.
So
How lucky are we to be able to have the option to go and get it fixed? Right? How lucky
continue in this.
Right. How lucky are we
Yeah.
to be able to have the option to turn back the clock with the peptides and the knowledge now that we have, right? And this knowledge is available to everybody. You just got to research it. You know, but like you don't know where to look or you need help, call us. You know, we're here to help, and
More than happy to help.
you know,
Get
we've all
back.
we've
Get
all
that
been
back.
through it.
I get it.
I don't
Some
know
guys,
if Rick is. I don't know if Rick has been through it, but
I'm on so much shit, man. I can punch a whole bunch so I'm just saying. I got testosterone. I'm good. I take my, but then there's some guys out there who don't matter. Like they probably don't want to get it up. Like they're like, no, I'm good, hon. It don't work. We're broke.
well, this is I want to say one other thing real quick. Like, I think there's a stigma with testosterone, right? So, and it comes from a place of ignorance, right? And basically because of a bad rep from bodybuilding back in the day, and these guys using shit that was meant for horses and shit like that, right? So, you know, you got to get past that stigma and understand that it's an essential hormone. It's not a steroid.
Yeah.
It's a hormone that's in your body that you need, right, in order to function properly. And as we get older, it naturally declines. It's not your fault, it's nature. But now we have the ability to supplement you and monitor you to make sure that you're at the level where you can stay healthy and younger for a longer period of time.
In a controlled environment.
In a controlled environment.
Monitored.
Everything we do is monitored by our nurse practitioner and by our MD. So, you know, this isn't just some, you know, fly by night.
Send you some drugs and the thing.
That's because everybody.
If that's what you want, we're not for you.
And that's because I've been doing this 30 years now, bodybuilding trainer, and that's because they see their gym pharmacist, and that's why I call their steroid dealer. He's like, take this, see me when you're empty. How much do I take? Take this, see me when you're empty. Take 2 cc's a week. That guy's not a doctor. He didn't know what your levels were. And then he's like, oh man, you gained 18 pounds. Like that? Yeah. Hey man, here's some Winstrol V, some Deca. Oh, you want to get even bigger? Take some Dynamo.
I don't know what fucking.
So now you're stacking this.
I've never been to a doctor that gives me that shit.
No, I said
He said the gym doctor.
right. And so that's when people start having all those issues. Their testicles shrink because now your body doesn't need to produce anything. So your testicles shrunk. Like, oh, that's why you're on steroids. Your balls are going to disappear. Yeah, because back in the day, that's what happened because it wasn't controlled.
Right.
And they were taking, oh, I gained 18 pounds. Holy shit! Imagine if I took double that.
Yeah.
And they're like, ooh, because people are coming up to you going, damn, Brian, look at those arms, baby. Holy shit. You're like, yeah, that's me. One more time.
Let's talk about that real quick too, because that's, you know, I'm going to put myself out there again. When I was younger in my 20s, I used Deca, I used Test, I used Winstrol, I used everything, right? I remember when I first started, I was like 170 pounds, and my goal was to get to 185. I should get to 185. I should get to 185. And I get to 185, I get to 190, 195, 200. You know, all of a sudden I'm 215, you know, pretty good shape. Then life happens and you stop working out. What happens? You know what I mean?
All catches up.
And you stop taking the stuff, right?
Oh, no, what happens?
Or
Chris, I haven't gotten there
We
yet.
all not strangers.
or if you're one of those people that is just in the training and you're in the professional bodybuilding, I don't know if you have someone monitoring you, but you need it. Like it's absolutely necessary. And I'm not, listen, if that's what you do and that's the way you live your life, I support it 100%. But there's a way that you need to do it, and it needs to be done the right way, and then it needs to be done a healthy way.
Right.
You know. So.
Because it's not working long term.
You can do it in a healthy way. You can do it in a healthy way.
And that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've been doing this a long time. I'm not going to lie. I hit my gym pharmacist up. I need this, I need that. Hook me up. I Google everything now, but 30 years ago, I was like, take this. You know what the hell you're doing.
Okay.
You gain a little weight. Oh, God, man, I have to take this. I need Dynamo. I need this. I need Dex.
But what happens though, and I've had people come in for our help who even have been, under the care of other doctors, they're having headaches or they're constantly, beet red, their skin, they're dizzy. They get this. I don't know why I feel good. Through the roof. The fucking blood pressure's through the roof because their blood is thick, right? The hematocrit. Remember I told you to go do. So there's multiple things that you have to monitor when you're on TRT and all that type of stuff. And even if you're on erectile dysfunction meds, a lot of those, I mean, the number one treatment for erectile dysfunction is testosterone. So,
Yes.
I mean, if we're just going to get down to it, you know, you need to be, if you're suffering from that and you do it the correct way, you go to your doctor and they find out that your testosterone was low.
You need
It's what it is.
No ifs, ands, or
And this is what I was going to say. I got sidetracked. Guys will ask me, like, well, if I do it now, do I have to stay on it? And my answer is always like, you don't have to do shit. You don't have to do anything, but do you want to feel this way?
Yes.
Because it's not going to kill you if you stop it, right? But think about it. You're naturally to the point where you're not fucking producing it anymore, right? What makes you think that if I supplement it right now and I get back to the level, if I stop taking it, I'm going to stay at that level? It's not even realistic.
Yep.
So yes, if you're in that position, if you're 35, 40, 45, 50 years old and you start TRT therapy, you're probably going to have to do it. If you want to maintain the way you feel, because there's nothing that I know of, and you can ask any doctor too, that you take, you get it to a level and it just stays there. It doesn't happen. You have to manage it and you have to be on top of it and you have to supplement. And then that's where we come in. It's targeted supplementation. You may not take the same dose all the time. We may change your dose. We may change your medications. We may change your whole thing. And you may say, oh shit, I've been doing this for 2 years, man. Why are you changing this on me? It's like, well, because we're managing your blood work, you know? So,
Now I have a question. What about peptides for this erectile dysfunction?
so we had access to PT 141, which is a really good one. Unfortunately, the FDA makes it almost impossible to get it anymore. Back in November, they took it off. I believe you can still get it from some supplement companies, but you can't get it from compounding pharmacies anymore.
It's crap. If you
Yeah.
can't, anybody can say, "Hey, this is wine." It's not.
Yeah.
All those companies, GNC, they'll sell you. Oh man,
It's one of the peptides. It's one of the peptides that so when I started this about 4 years ago, we had access to multiple peptides that the compounding pharmacies were able to compound and we could sell them to. We had BPC 157, we had CJC, Ipamorelin, we had Ipamorelin, we had
I don't know what
we had Ibuto, do you know this is MK677, Ibutamor. All this stuff was available for us to give to people, right? And they had really good benefits. And people, it was starting to gain momentum, especially BBC 157 and CJC and all these CJCs. Like, yeah, so BPC 147 is like a miracle, dude. I mean, it's the real deal. You know, it repairs and restores ligaments, tendons, like, and it's derived of your gastric juices, so it's all natural. You know, so they took it off the market. You know, you're not allowed to get it from compounding pharmacies. You can get it, but you have to get it from what's called a research lab.
Yes, not for
Every
bottle you buy.
You know, now we do have a supplement company where we can get capsulated BPC 157, and it does work, but it doesn't work as well as the injections. But it is good.
That's not the worst.
You know, so
Good stuff.
Well, I guess in closing, any closing thought?
not just. I mean, if you're suffering from something like that, just know that you're definitely not the only person. I mean, look at why do you think there is Viagra? Why do you think there is Cialis? Why do you think I mean, it's $1 billion market, probably $1 trillion market, right? So don't be embarrassed. It's part of just growing older, and you know, these things start to go away, and you know, there's options for you to restore your health. So reach out to who you need to. Don't be afraid to talk about it.
That
And mostly lady, I know we have a lot of lady listeners. It's really not you. And if it's affecting you and bothering you, don't let it. Do something about it. Try talking to your husband. Try. Like I said, I'm in the field. Like I hear everybody's sides, both sides, men and women. Mostly my clients are women. All the time, they talk to me about it. They feel comfortable talking about it. Rick, what do I do? What do I do? There's nothing you can do but go home and talk to them. And sit down and say, hey, look, this is maybe what we need to do. It's like male menopause. Let's get it done. Let's get it checked. But don't let it get you down and depressed. Somebody in your family, if he's got ED, is probably already doing that, and there's no need for both of you for it to affect them.
So I like to say when men are probably their own worst.
Definitely.
I mean,
Without a doubt.
how do you as a man how do you grade yourself, right?
You just said, as a man.
Yeah.
Off of performance.
So-
Right? It's all a performance.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like even if you got to the end of the line, right, where you succeeded, like, but how did I perform when I got there? Like, that's how you kind of
Like him.
yeah.
I'm just me. Just sorry.
But anyway,
Okay.
So
It's all that Winstrel V.
to wrap things up, men, if you're having ED issues, you're having those type of issues, go get your male parts checked. I mean, get your prostate checked, get all of those things done.
I think it's over 40 now.
Yeah, it's 40. Go get all of those things done. Get your testosterone checked. TRT is not bad for you. Testosterone replacement therapy is a good thing, a positive thing. It'll make you feel like $1 million. So we're going to wrap things up, and we will see you guys again next week. Thanks for being with us and the Men of Biotropics, and
Peace.
peace out.
Peace out.